I'm sitting here with Beck and Eamon, and we really wanted to introduce you guys to these two because these two actually started a trip across Canada the same time Max and I started our trip in September. And we were just trailing behind them and see their Instagram saying, oh cool, like we're going there next. And we kept going south, they went home, and we actually ran into them 6 months later in Oaxaca, Mexico. We spent 5 awesome days together, and Max and I were so uplifted by their energy, their positivity, and we all just got along so well. We had such a blast, and I'm so happy to see them again. And we wanted to introduce them to you because we love them, we think you'll love them, and their story. Aww, of how you guys are.
I'm sure there's a couple OG Eamon and Bec viewers watching this being like, yeah, Lee, we know Eamon and Bec.
Yeah,
but for those that you don't know us, we'll happily introduce ourselves and meet you guys here today.
It's amazing meeting up with other van lifers for so many reasons, but when we met you guys, it was just like, okay, it clicked, and it was so much fun hanging out. And we're excited to share your conversion on our channel for anyone who doesn't know, so you can pop over there and see our take of their van tour. But it's so fun seeing how you can take the exact same space, the same 60 square feet.
Yeah.
And I think you guys, in my opinion, have done, besides mine, because I love my home, that you have like the nicest build in that 60 square feet.
We
really
love your build as well.
I really
at the end of the day, van people love talking about vans.
Yeah.
We could just sit here and film each other's vans all day.
Yes.
We actually, you would have seen in one of their Hello Mexico series, if you are an original and you watch Beck and Eamon, we actually backed both of our vans up.
Yeah.
This was Max's dream
It's a
since
big
before
moment
starting
for
van
Max.
life.
Yeah.
We backed the vans up and we made a van mansion. So we'll link that.
A bug screen van mansion.
Yeah,
it was
a
epic.
bug screen van mansion, and we had this amazing feast. And we actually had 3 vans. The Millennials were then attached on the side, door to door, and that was just
it was like a little maze. You could walk through all the vans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were a highlight of Mexico for us, so it's so good to see you back in Toronto. It's
So let's get into the tour. We'll show you everything that they did. They built the van themselves, and we love it, as well as some new additions. So if you have seen their van tour before, be excited because they made some awesome changes that we actually stole one of their ideas and put it into our van, patented by Beck and Eamon. So if you do this, you won't regret it.
Yes. All right, let's do it, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Eamon.
And I'm Beck, and this is our self-converted Sprinter van. We are coming to you live from Toronto, Ontario, where we were both born and raised, and where we now run our tea company, which is actually where we're filming this video from.
Shout out to Chaiwala Chai. So being from the city, we have a unique spin on van life. Because our business does keep us grounded, we make a lot of content about what it's like to live in a van in a city.
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel where we create videos, day in the life videos of van life, but we also share behind the scenes of owning and operating a small business while living in our van. So we would love to show you guys around our tiny home, and
come on, let's go. So this is the front door of our house. This is actually where we keep all of our electricals. So we have 300 amp hours worth of batteries, and that's charged from the solar panels, the alternator when the car's running, and plugs right into shore power, so you can juice up the system that way. I'm not going to spend too much time getting into those kind of details. If you are interested, you can check out our channel where we have build series and electrical videos and all that fun stuff. So let's jump into the kitchen where we can talk a little bit more about our fridge, our Vitamix, and maybe I'll call Beck to see if she wants to do that.
so our van is named Trinity. She is a 2008 Sprinter van, and we self-converted the entire home. The biggest project for us was the kitchen space. Eamon and I both absolutely love to cook, so we knew that we had to have some of the staple items like our Vitamix blender for making those delicious smoothies every morning, as well as a great fridge that made it feel a little homey. So if you guys want to come in a little closer, I'll show you some of the details. For our fridge, we went with the Dometic 55 liter. We actually love that it opens up like a normal fridge because it does make it feel a little bit more homey. And we have these great spice jars. They're magnetic, So really easy to access when we're cooking in the kitchen area, which is just up here. Our stove is a Summit cooktop. It's 2 burners and it runs off of propane. My one complaint about this is that we actually don't have any levels from low to high. It's all just high. So cooking is a bit of a challenge already in a tiny space. Add that in there. It just makes us better chefs, let's say.
But I also like cooking on high heat.
Oh my goodness. What's a van conversion without the fruit hammock? Of course, we just snagged this idea from another van life channel, 40 Hours of Freedom. We've angled it so that it does a little bit less banging on the back wall, because one too many times we've had tomato splatter, banana splatter,
any kind of splatter.
A whole smoothie on the back wall, basically. And then our large sink, which was another thing that I was really passionate about putting into the van space. While it looks like it takes up a lot of counter space, we love that it's not an issue to wash my hair if I really need to, or, you know, those lazy days when you just kind of put all the dishes in the sink. But yeah, great sink. We have one of these retractable faucets and filtered water, as well as a little soap dispenser. So this is the kitchen area. The overhead cabinet area kind of stores 3 separate things. Over here you can see the disaster that is our toiletry section. We're pretty low maintenance people, so we've just got some, you know, deodorant, toothbrushes, that sort of thing. Over here we've kind of got our bowls, plates, mugs, cups, and then a little bit of storage. So of course we've got lots of tea, herbal teas, and then olive oil, salt and pepper. And that's it. Cutting board, too easy, no worries. And then coming down here, I think I'll pass it off to my best buddy Eamon, because he's just waiting so patiently in the corner to share with you guys.
Well, also you don't have any idea of where the water is or how to get it
I don't do that. That's not a part of my contract, so.
So yeah, I'll show you guys the water system. It's really simple. We have 3 5-gallon fresh water tanks, and those are on quick disconnects, which a lot of people really were asking, like, hey, that's so cool. How'd you do that? What is that? It's literally just like gardening stuff you can buy at Home Depot. But it is amazing because it makes it super easy just to disconnect, fill up, and then throw it back in there. We drain into a gray water tank, and that's also where we house our propane. And if you look kind of past the propane, that's where our water filtration system is. We absolutely love having our swivel seat here. It really actually allows us to use this kind of front cockpit area. Also, it just is so convenient for those cold LaCroix that I'm all out of. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna crack one on the phone. And then we also wanted to utilize this headliner. This is a lot of space that I don't understand when people don't utilize, because we store a ton of stuff here. Bowls, pots, jackets, drones. It's kind of like a second junk drawer, and I couldn't imagine being here without it.
Is every drawer in the van kind of like a junk drawer? Because I was gonna describe this as the junk drawer, and then you described that one as a junk drawer. I'm like,
I think when you're in a van, everything's just a junk drawer.
And Beck, what about you for the kitchen? What's your favorite part of the kitchen, and how does it compare to being a kitchen in the van versus a kitchen at home?
Yeah, actually we get a lot of, because we're in Toronto, people are used to small condo living and small kitchen living. So a lot of my girlfriends or friends that we have over in the van actually compare this to a condo kitchen, if not better. So we cook up epic meals. We'll have Max and Lee over, Christian and Aubrey over. Eamon does a lot of the cooking, but I do the cleaning, so we have them over and host and everything like that. But definitely the highlight for me is our Vitamix blender. I am completely obsessed with it. I told Eamon upon deciding to do van life with him that my only stipulation was that we found a way to have the Vitamix blender, and Eamon is very much one of those people that doesn't like to muck around. He likes to have things very accessible, so he built this entire shrine to our Vitamix, and we use that almost daily for things like smoothies. We make awesome cashew cream and different cheese alternatives, nacho cheese recipes in the blender. But we don't have to talk too much about that because we do lots of recipe videos as well on our channel if you guys are interested in checking those out. So definitely love the Vitamix. Have no issues with our kitchen. We absolutely love it.
I think the biggest difference, if you're watching this and you're trying to figure out like, oh, do you think I could live in a van? Like what would it be like cooking in the van? The biggest difference is the water. So you are limited by how much water you have, and it's only cold water. So doing dishes and stuff, like, yeah, we make epic meals, but like we value that, so we're willing to take the time to do the dishes, to use more water, and that's kind of the biggest thing you have to get used to. That's such a good point.
Yeah, you don't have unlimited water. Sure.
And so something that stuck out to me when we first saw your van on Instagram before we even met you was your backsplash.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a tiled backsplash in many vans. How does it hold up? How has it held up?
That's a great question. So many people message us with concern about our backsplash. We've lived in our van for over a year now. We've driven on the Mexican roads and we haven't had any issues with our backsplash.
The grout is starting to chip a little bit at the bottom, but the towels are completely stuck on there solid. They're very high-end Italian Subway towels. We got them on Kijiji for like 40 bucks.
I think it's one of those things as well that elevates our van from being a van or a camper to being a home.
Totally.
And that's how we looked at the kitchen, and we didn't want one of those tiny camper van sinks that you see all the time. We wanted an actual kitchen sink, and we wanted that feel in our kitchen area or in the van as a whole. And the backsplash was one of those things that we thought we could do. And you're right, we don't see that very often. Maybe we're crazy. In a couple of years we'll tell you never put backsplash with tiles, but no. No, it's perfect. We love it. There are a few things that when we met Max and Lee, we got a little jealous of their van build, and our fan was one of them. We went with the Fantastic fan, and while it serves its purpose and does a pretty good job, we survive most nights, it's not the strongest fan on the market. So because this fan doesn't offer a lot of airflow, we have installed two smaller fans. So we'll come into our bedroom, living room area and show you the fans as well as our bed and couch and all that good stuff. The first fan we installed on top of our Fantastic fan was just this little guy here. He's been in the van for the full year. It didn't really offer a lot of airflow, mostly directed at me, so I wasn't complaining too much. But it also runs off of the inverter, so it's not that efficient and draws quite a bit of energy, especially for a hot night when we run it all night. So we've since upgraded to this 360 fan that you see behind me, which can then direct some airflow at my partner as well. And it also runs off the batteries, so again, it's a little bit more efficient. So we're really enjoying that upgrade. Smashed it! I didn't even know what I was talking about. Just quickly while we're in this area, the two overhead cabinets here store all of our clothing. We're always sort of minimalists, but you're forced even more into minimalism when you move into a van, so that's definitely something to note if you're thinking about van life. This is my section, so I do have a couple of little cubbies to help keep it organized. But I tell you, you put one thing back there and it'll look like this. Eamonn's area, which is just an absolute disaster. So this is all of Eamonn's clothing. Again, we do live in Canada, so we deal with a lot more seasons than heading just to Mexico and enjoying that bikini, shorts, and tank weather all the time. So we do have quite a few bulky items as well. I think we're lucky because we do have our office space available to us. So when it is hot out and it's summer, we will put our parkas into the office and store based on seasons. And as you guys can see now, I'm sitting on our couch. What we used for our couch and bed is just one large piece of rubber. It's split in two, which is how it's able to go into couch mode, and then also pulls really nicely into bed mode. We have a mattress cover on top of the two pieces, so it keeps it together when we slide into bed mode. And the reason we really wanted this couch space in the van is we do work remotely. Whether it's editing videos or emailing with our clients, it's really important that we have a workspace that's comfortable for us. So to convert this area into a workspace, we take our pole with the flange on the end, put it right into the slot we have. That will sit nicely, and it actually helps keep the couch back as well. And then this is just a gate latch. Pop that down, and we've got ourselves a big table workspace. As I mentioned earlier, we love cooking, but we also love hosting. So we can have quite a few people sitting around on the couch as well as on the benches and have a nice feast all together. A lot of people ask us about the inconvenience of having to put our bed away every day, but we actually love being able to utilize the space in this way. We're really comfortable when we work, when we're done for the day. It takes us maybe 2 minutes to pull out the bed, especially with 2 people. You hop on either side and pull it across. It's just those sheets that you've got to put back every day.
Okay.
This just goes back up in here. Now we'll show you guys how we convert this area into bed mode. I need my partner.
Hey guys, I'm here. Bed mode, it's my favorite mode.
Do you both take the time to make the bed every night, or is one of you more of a bed maker at night and one's more bed maker in the morning?
You know what's different from our builds to you guys is actually we can't really do this with one person. It's a lot more tricky. So most nights,
You've done it.
But most nights you and I both do it. I wouldn't say that it's one of our tasks.
Yeah.
But if one of us is like more...
Unlike you, Lee, where you seem to get stuck with the
task of that.
the short stick.
Max will argue and he makes the bed every day first because he sleeps earlier.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So the bed is a really simple design, guys. People are usually like confused, like how does that work? Imagine just like your fingers that slide into each other. So it's just like that, and then it's just the slats are just gonna reverse and they slide out. So you just pull it right across. And we got lazy, we didn't paint the 2x4s, but we always say maybe one day.
There you have it, guys. You're gonna break the bed.
No way, dude. This is like a rock, dude. A gorilla could jump onto this. It's not breaking. No chance. So now we're in bed mode.
And where do you keep all your bed sheets? Are you guys just...
Great question, Lee.
When you're freezing your butts off in the Canadian winter, what keeps you warm?
Yeah, so we were actually... Sorry?
No, I was just gonna... To that point of the Canadian winter, that was the biggest key learning we had from living in Canada in the winter, was putting our sheets out before we wanted to get in bed, because this actually acts as like an insulation, so the sheets are freezing when we pull them out, but in summer we don't have to worry about that. Anyway.
So this was an area, this is where the wheel wells are. We had no idea kind of what we were going to use this for. Originally we thought like backpacks and like, I don't know why we thought backpacks, but anyway, it's just full of like our duvet and pillow, and it's so great because it totally hides it, it gets it out of the way. And it's perfect. We each have 2 pillows. Yeah, fancy, dude.
This is where we keep our duvet and bedding, as you saw, and then this is our laundry area. We've just got a laundry bag attached to a couple of hooks, so it's almost like a laundry chute. The laundry
awesome.
Just goes in there, and then it comes back magically clean into Eamonn's crazy closet.
It doesn't make sense.
The elves
I'll
just
literally
come.
put like the dirtiest pair of underwear in there, and it'll just come back like perfectly clean.
So that's one of those tricky, beautiful things about van life. The elves just come and do that for you. But yes, laundry.
It's the same with the water,
bedding.
babe? It's basically unlimited water here.
We all have our
Pump
roles.
on.
We all have our roles.
So this little area actually serves a great purpose, just to like kind of put stuff, and we constantly keep it clean, but it seems to get cluttered really quickly. Just, you know, you want to put your tea down or put your feet on it. So I actually really like that added feature of the van. And then in here is actually even more storage out the back, and then this is where all our electrical is. So the electrical you can just access by popping this panel off. This is our display for the inverter. And then that's on magnets, and then this whole piece just lifts out.
Wow, smart.
So this is kind of the brain of the operation. Once again, if you're really interested in finding out more information, you can check out our channel. We've got a lot of videos on the electrical. But basically the batteries, the inverter, the charge controller, the AC circuit panel, and the DC circuit panel. And that's all hooked up into our main kind of display area here. So here we've got all of our switches. This is our heater, so that's the S-Bar D2. Super, super key to have in those Canadian winters. We went through the entire winter here in Canada, and this thing was incredible. You can set a temperature, so even if you leave your van for a few days, you're not gonna freeze your pipes. We've got our dimmer switch, so that adds like a nice little ambiance, you know, a little bit of mood lighting. I'm a pretty romantic guy, so that's kind of nice after those 4-star meals I make her. Then we've got our USB switch, our AC switch, and this is the display. So basically a really simple display here. If he's got a happy face, he's happy. Right now he's sitting at 12.8 volts. That's always a good sign.
So their couch is really comfortable and I'm in a very comfortable position filming, but they have made some really cool changes in their van since we met them for the first time 6 months ago, and what he's about to show you is new and I think it is awesome and just super creative, and the plant beside it, which I know is you, Beck, really just adds some life to the van and the colors burst and I love it. So this part's cool, check it out.
So what we found after living in the van for a few months is this little charging area would just explode with batteries and memory cards and headphones. So we needed to keep it a little bit more organized. So we added this little reclaimed wine crate that we found at an LCBO and made it into like our kind of battery storage zone. So we keep all of our little cables back there, headphones, and then we added this little slot here with a little piece of foam on the bottom, so we can actually store our laptops and drive with them like that, and they're not going to shake around and they can still charge. So we found this to be super, super helpful.
When we first moved into the van, I tried a non-fake plant, so a real plant, and it died very quickly. I've since learned a little bit about plants, and someone recommended Pythos, and we've had her for a week. Her name's Petunia. She's so beautiful. We're scared she might be dying, so if you have any tips on how to keep her living and thriving, leave them in the comments below. But I think she got burnt a little this weekend. We had her in the sun, maybe? I don't know. Anyways,
she's turning into a spotted pothos.
We really love her, and it really has brought such new life and homey vibes, and it's nice to have a third family member.
I love it too.
You do.
She sleeps when we're away.
Eamon, literally, he'll be driving and he'll look back and I'm like, what, like, put your eyes on the road, and he's like, I'm just checking on Petunia, making sure she's okay. So I'm not quite ready for a baby or a dog like Max and Lee with their little Aki, but we're ready for a plant for sure.
Does she ever bang against the wall?
Yes.
I've got her stapled so she doesn't move too far.
Okay.
But she is real dirt, so she likes to shed a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is the back of the van. This is what we call the garage. And this is where we keep all the toys and of course our chai. Which is our tea, in case you don't know what chai is.
Do you want to explain?
So we made this big pull-out drawer just to help keep the area a little bit more organized. Right now it's a bit of a disaster, but we've got like basketball and skateboard and some product.
It's become another junk drawer.
Oh, this is our other junk drawer, yeah. We
you don't even have your skateboard in here.
I got one skateboard.
Oh yeah.
We also have our hammock, hiking shoes, tripod, fire extinguisher, all that fun stuff. And some more assorted sports. We've got a frisbee, football, air compressor, battery cables, lawn chairs. Yeah, so we actually use that space quite efficiently because all the stuff was shoved to the back and you can just pull it up. Ew.
And when you're fully loaded up and you're hitting the road with all your tea, how much weight do you actually put in that drawer? Like,
it's hard to say, but like I think you could stand on the end and jump if you wanted to. You're not breaking these things. Look at them, they're industrial.
We've also had probably upwards of 50 kilos worth of chai alone in that drawer before, don't you think?
Yeah, at least.
We're kind of like,
about
we're like traveling salesmen, so often when we do hit the road, a lot of it is to grow and expand our company. So we will fill this drawer with our tea, and that adds up to be quite a bit of weight.
And skateboards.
Yeah, and then we squeeze in the room for Eamonn's toys, of course.
So you guys live in your van in the city, you have your office, but when you need to go to the washroom and you need to shower, what do you do then?
Yeah, so the washroom, pee funnel, guys, it's the best thing you've ever
And we only pee, we don't poo.
Of course.
That's disgusting.
We also can use the washroom in our office, so that going to the bathroom isn't the issue in the city, but showering is for sure. But we are members of a gym in the area. They actually have nice white towels. It's
hot water.
Pretty much sometimes the only reason we go to the gym is to have that shower,
100%.
which is actually really encouraging to stay in shape, you know? So it's all good.
And then when we are traveling, we do have a solar shower on the roof. So that's basically a black tube. I haven't done a video on it yet.
I know,
but it's a really simple design. And we hook that up to a compressor. We fill it up with cold water and it stays in the sun, all day. And that will heat it up, and then you can hook up the compressor and you can get 2 very solid showers out of it.
Yeah, it is really good. And then how much did your van conversion cost you, and how long did it take you to build your van?
Yeah. So we bought the van. It's a used 2008 Sprinter. We bought it for around 13,500 Canadian dollars, and then we gave ourselves a budget of about 10 grand to put into the conversion. We spent 30 days converting the van, so a lot of people can do it quicker or take longer and are more detailed. We sort of had that timeline in our mind of we wanted to be on the road by June of last year, and we just kind of made it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as cost goes, like that was even stretching our budget a little bit more. So
definitely.
You could definitely do it for less, and you could definitely do it for more. But I think for the value we got out of it, I think we did a very good job. Another
point I would add to the cost of our conversion is that it's a home, so you're constantly adding to it.
That didn't include the heater.
Yes.
There's a lot of little things that we
exactly. Yeah. So the heat
didn't include the plant.
It did not include Petunia. Well, she's priceless. We wouldn't include her in the conversion.
I do love her.
So you're constantly updating and trying to like make it better and make it more homey, or you're doing little or major renovations. So it's not like a set,
like a new motor,
one-time thing, or yeah, you've got your car expenses as well. So I would say around 25,000 was a comfortable conversion cost.
This is probably a big question for a lot of people, but why van life? What does it add to your life? And if it takes away anything, what does it take away from your life?
The short story of van life for us was we had this company. The base of it was selling to independently owned coffee shops and cafes in Toronto. We loved the company, but we wanted to grow. And we looked at, how do we do that? The cost of a flight, Airbnb, a car rental in Vancouver, another big metropolitan city in Canada that we could replicate our business in, was going to cost us way too much money for a small business.
We wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah, we just couldn't do it. Add that to the cost of living in Toronto, especially as a young person. Rent is at least $2,000 to $3,000 for a one-bedroom apartment in the city, mixed in with our
adventure.
Like zest for adventure and travel and all of these things.
At the end of the day, that's what really fuels you to be like, all right, I'll spend 25 grand on a van.
But it's also what fuels you to forget about, you were kind of asking like, what's the negative things or what are the downsides of van life?
Yeah.
And when we get asked that question, it's actually hard for us to come up with a top 10 things that are terrible about van life, because we genuinely look at them as just a way and a gateway to do so much with our lives.
And that also speaks volumes to the type of people we are.
Yeah.
100%. I've got friends that wouldn't even last a week in a van. So just, if you're thinking about it, it's just like, you know, take a real good look in the mirror at what kind of person you are and whether this is realistic lifestyle for you.
But for us it is.
For us, we love it.
Yeah. So, did that answer your question? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Parts.
Yeah.
Parts for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a wrap. We hope you guys absolutely loved the van tour. We had a lot of fun filming it, and I had fun especially because, like we said at the beginning, they changed a few things up, and I learned more about how they really built everything in here, and we don't feel like we're in a van right now. Let's just say that. Like, I'm sitting on a couch in my friend's house, and we're just chilling, just, you know, in a parking lot. But you wouldn't know that because it looks like a house in here.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Who were we talking to yesterday? Someone was asking us who's like completely not in the van life world. She's like, it must be so weird to sleep at a Walmart parking lot. And I said, you have no idea. When you close the curtains
and you close the doors,
you really are home.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter where you are.
And something that these two will be able to resonate with, as well as us, when you're traveling on the road and you backpack, you're always moving hostel to hostel, but when you're traveling in your van, you feel like you have your peace of home with you everywhere. And whether that's in Toronto or that's in Vancouver or that's in Mexico, it's the one constant in your life. So your home, you take it with you. Home is where you park it, right?
Totally, yeah.
So we hope you had fun getting to know these two, and definitely get over to their channel and check out some of their stuff. They have done some incredible travels themselves. They have a different perspective on our van tour as well. So they actually filmed our van tour when they first met us. So.
You guys were
first van tour.
You guys, you have to understand that Max and Lee, when we met them, they were just waiting to become the next YouTube stars.
We were really awkward.
So. No, and we're like, you guys are A, beautiful, B, so awesome. Like, you have the best spirits. Like, why aren't you on YouTube?
The coolest dog. I mean, you'll get subscribers on Ox alone.
Come on, and Aki's so awesome. So we forced you guys, essentially, into doing a van tour with us.
Before we even thought about it, we were like, oh my god, now we have a channel. Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Yes. So it was a lot of fun. So it'll be a lot of fun for you guys to come over and watch the tour Max and Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is before everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we're awkward, it's because it was our first time on camera, and we'll see if you guys can tell the progression within a couple of months.
I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Lee.
Thank you for having me in your home and welcome me in again.
You know you're always welcome.
Yeah.
I just miss Max and Aki.
Yeah. More so
we
Aki,
wish you were
but
all
Max
here.
is pretty
Aki
cool too.
really liked this couch.
Yeah, Aki made himself at home.
When we butted the
here.
bands up, Aki was mainly in this van, and it's probably because he was cooking and smelled really good, and Aki just goes for the food. So I don't.
Well, you were also cooking. Maybe my food's better.
Maybe it had something to do with
the cooker was right there. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right. Well, thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, guys. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, head to their channel, and we'll be posting our next video on Wednesday as per usual, and we'll see what that brings. So see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys.